Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast with your hosts, myself, Teeds, and this guy with the mustache, not the beard, Don Julio. Haven't seen his chin in probably 3 to 4 years, probably before COVID, maybe even before that. How long has it been since you've shaved your beard? I can't believe.
It's been 2.5 years. I did it one time before Adelina came into the world, and uh, that was it. So for those
And
of
no,
for those of you who are beard guys, you can understand that you just need a reset sometimes. So
oh man,
that's going
yeah,
to be
he didn't.
me, and I will.
He's not leaving us. He did not get signed by the Yankees. He's not
Yeah,
playing in the World Series.
yeah.
He just shaded, man. It's just trippy, man. I mean, he was. I can't see it right now. I'll probably see it when I do the editing of this. But like he was saying that you could see the line on his. I can see it kind of, but it's not that big on my screen.
Yeah.
But that's wild, dude. That's wild. During the winter, it's got to be cold now. Now it's like when you want to have the beard. But
I just got I
welcome,
just got
Julio
I just got
2.0.
yeah, I just got annoyed with it. I really had to. I just really wanted to stretch into my Latin, roots, and just really
You
embrace it.
joining a
So,
mariachi band or what? You
oh
leaving
yeah,
us?
oh dude, I'm replacing the Tapatio guy on the bottle.
Oh man. All right. So I know you wanted to start off with Live. So
Yeah, dude.
let's start.
It's it. I saw some interesting news that Bubba Watson is. I don't know if he was kicked off or if he's stepping away from Live to go play on the Asian tour to apparently get some points to try and
I think he
solid.
was. I think he was let go because of how they do like the rankings, how it's like relegation, how they
Yeah.
have that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I saw that and I thought that was crazy, just being that he was the original range goat for the team, and it's kind of like how Bubba Watson. I mean, he's always been a consistent player, a
Mhm.
guy that I don't know if I were to think of anybody to be kicked off of Live out the gate would have been like Sergio Garcia, because Sergio Garcia is just a very up and down kind of player, just depending on how he's feeling.
Yeah, heck, just
But
one of the random dudes that were even there, that you don't even
yeah,
know. It's like what it's also crazy that it's a captain. He definitely was relegated. I just double checked, triple checked. He was relegated, but it's like you have your own team. You're the one
yeah,
who created the team. And I don't know, I feel like that's weird in the sense that like I get that you could be relegated, but there should be like maybe like a little bit of a grace period. You get like 3 to 4 years or something like that. But it is what it is. He knew what he was signing up for, but that's wild, dude.
I mean,
Like,
what does that mean for the rest of the older cats, right? Like Ian Poulter, uh, um, who's the other guy who's always wearing the Jordans?
Varner,
No, 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 not Varner. Oh my
not
God,
Phil. Well, Phil should be on the pretty close too. Yeah.
yeah, Phil's probably gonna be on that cut too, but his name's like Pat. Pat. Oh my God, he's got like the mullet. Um,
Oh, Pat Perez.
yeah, Pat Perez. There you go.
Pat Perez. You're right. Yep. I
Yeah,
think, dude, is he even still on Live? Did he still make it? Because I remember he was struggling too for a while.
I haven't heard anything, but I mean, again, you're talking about like those are the original dudes who made the first leap, right? When it started to come out. So I'm curious if like maybe it's one of those things kind of like a job, right? You're getting a little too old. Like people just aren't following you as much. See ya.
hmm Yeah.
You
No.
know?
So I am sorry. Just to cut you off really quick. I double checked. Pat Perez and Harold Varner, who both played for the Four Aces. Harold Varner used to play for the Range Ghosts. He was hovering around the drop zone, which is what they consider the relegation zone for Live, and
Mhm.
apparently did just enough to keep their place. So they do keep their quote unquote card for the next Live season. But again, not just Bubba Watson, Brandon Grace, uh, Kale Samuja, Kieran Vincent, Scott Vincent, uh, relegated. But I mean, it is like the PGA Tour where you lose your card. The only difference is you have to do more because the Live like league is so much smaller that you have
Mhm.
to be that much better compared to the PGA Tour. There's so many players. There's so many ways for you to get points. So many ways for you to keep your card. For
Yeah.
Live, it's really just the points that you get from playing in your team and also your your individual events. To really go off of. And I do feel like that's probably harder to keep the card because it is such a smaller league. But it's similar to PGA Tour. There's just not as many ways to stay unrelegated, or not to relegate, should I say?
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the nail. But it's like, again, I mean, the volatility if you're not performing is definitely more detrimental compared to being on the PGA Tour,
Oh
right?
yeah, 100%.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I just found that super interesting that someone who was like an OG for it
Hmm.
got the boot already. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard a lot about Phil placing too great. I haven't. I mean, the only thing that really comes up about Phil is just his Ozempic success story. You know, his YouTube golf every now and then where he lost to Grant Horvath. Kind of hasn't come back ever since then. Haven't
Oh
heard anything
boy.
since. It's just kind of like what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean
No,
to interrupt.
no, you're good. No, go for it. Go for it.
I was
I
gonna
thought you were
say
slowing down, but keep going. Keep it going.
no, no. I was gonna say another crazy thing that I mean this came up in a post that I saw on Facebook, and it says Live Golf League 2024 money list. So this was from the last tournament that they played. Let me see here. I have to look it up.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, and I know we're going to bring up the money list in a second, but I do think it's interesting that Bubba Watson is going to the Asian Tour to try and lock up some points to potentially get him back on the
Yeah.
PGA Tour, at least for the time being, because I know, like, with how YouTube golf has, like, skyrocketed, if Bubba Watson starts a YouTube channel tomorrow, dude, he is so entertaining. He is so funny. He
Yeah.
is like the guy who prides himself on never taking a lesson, and never taking a golf lesson. He's one of us, just someone that made it, just messed around, played around, had fun, figured it out,
Yeah.
and won a few majors. And like, I feel like he would have such an like entertaining YouTube channel. It's so easy. You don't even like I always tell people, like, if you get in YouTube, you got to do two things. You're either really entertaining or really, really good at what you're doing. And
Well,
he's both.
yeah, I mean, to that dude, like, I don't know if you saw, it's like, we're totally changing the subject here, but if you saw the last GM golf video, right, with Garrett and Micah, it was like the first time they had played or really even spoken to each other since
The little split.
separation, right?
Yeah.
And they were talking about it, right? Like, they really kind of cut deep into what's been going on, and they both admitted we've been playing shitty golf, right? And Micah was like, "Yeah, I shot at 88 at the Myrtle Beach, tournament."
We all saw it. We all saw
Yeah,
it.
we all saw it. And then it was like, and then Garrett was talking about, he's like, "Yeah, I threw up a 87 in the Good championship, you know." And they're like, "Yeah, I threw up an 87. Then the next weekend we go out and play without a tournament. I fire off a 63." They're like, "My game, like my game is just so all over the place."
Mhm.
It was one of the ones where it was kind of like, it was a very relatable moment because, again, Good does such a great job of kind of highlighting all the sick shots that they have, the
Oh, of course.
albatrosses,
Yep.
the
Hole in ones.
the hole in ones, the crazy long drives and against who they're playing against and stuff. But it was a super relatable moment where it's like, yeah, I mean, I've played enough tournaments where, yeah, I've gone and fired off an 88 too. I've also gone out and shot with friends for, a 68, 65, right?
Yep. Mhm.
Um, it's just weird. It's a weird game. But I think the truest piece to what you mentioned, right? If you're gonna get into YouTube golf, is one, the honesty, right? The realistic piece of you, showing the ups and downs, right? The adversity of your round.
Yeah.
That hits, I think, so much more with any audience in golf than it does shooting off or firing a consistent, 66 or whatever it may be.
Oh, heck yeah. You,
Um,
you see players that, like, you only see on TV, and all you see is their shot, and you
yeah,
see a reaction. If there is a reaction, they have the mic up there, but they edit out stuff and you don't hear everything. But like when you're actually there, like a Bob Does Sports, when he gets like
I
Keegan
was just about to
Bradley
say,
or or
Yeah.
all the other people there, and you see the emotion, not just like Bob or them, because obviously they're more of like the average golfer, should I say, that whole group, except for Fat Perez, which obviously he's like miles ahead of them. But
Yeah.
like you have someone like Bubba Watson or like Bryson DeChambeau on his channel, or Phil Mickelson on his channel, and you see their reactions and actually hear what they're saying, speaking out loud, speaking what they're thinking, and you act. It's also really cool to hear what they think about before a shot, instead of just going into it like, oh well, they put all this stuff together, and then you see the product, but you don't like see the before shot, the before, what do you call it, the like the behind the scenes, which
Yeah.
I feel like is what YouTube and streaming has really captured in just everything nowadays. It's like you have all these podcasts like what we're doing now, but you have them and you hear all these stories that you've never heard of, like your favorite baseball player, your favorite golfer, some little
Yeah.
stories that you didn't know, or what they're constantly feeling, or the pressure. You just saw them as someone on TV that you see for like a couple seconds, and you judge them based off of that. But now you see them as a human, and you're like, oh, well, I guess like they really are just human. They're just really, really good at this particular thing, at their job.
Yeah.
And everyone puts them on a freaking pedestal, but nothing's better than when you see them in another light and you're just like, oh wow, like they're legitimately like, they're just like me. Like just like you and me. We play with professional baseball players. And it's just like when people hear that we play with X, Y, and Z players, they're like, oh my gosh, really? It's like, yeah, like he was just a normal dude that was just like really good at baseball. Like
Yep.
you wouldn't be if you didn't know this guy was a baseball player and he sat right next, you would just think he was one of the boys. You'd have no idea that he was just so good at X, Y, and Z until you saw him play. And now it's becoming so much more of the aspect of they are all human, especially on social media nowadays. You see everybody, and it's like, oh, you see them posting a comment on something, responding to something, a reaction. You're like, yeah, they are kind of human too. Like maybe people should tone down on the death threats, and stuff like, oh, you ruined my 12-team parlay. Gosh dang it, man. You ruined I bet my house when I shouldn't have, and it's all your fault. And my wife left me. But I do like that side of YouTube and all the things nowadays that allow us to see professionals as humans. And I think that's really cool because behind the scenes, I love that stuff. I love checking up on that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like who are those two guys Jack and who's like the big tall guy, the
Oh,
dude
Busted
who
Jack?
yeah, Bust Jack. So I was gonna say like those guys when I first started watching them, a lot of their golf was like, I mean, it was good golf. Like it's
Yeah.
like, did these guys ever miss? Like what's going on, right? Then all of a sudden the Myrtle Beach tournament came out, right? And Jack Jack played and it it was like okay maybe he's not as on fire as he normally shows himself to be in their videos, but I think he got a little bit more criticism than Micah did, right? Because again, when you watch their videos, I mean, it's par or better. You don't see a lot of
From the
80s or
tips.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the tips every time, and they're just smooth swinging boys too. I
Yeah.
mean, even Busta, like he gets a little flexible, gets inside and hits that big drop, but I mean, still, it looks like a smooth 80% swing every time.
And then you notice the difference of like competitive golf to just playing with the boys and with
Yeah.
not a care in the world, and how night and day they are. You
Hmm.
can't compare like, oh wait, what the heck, dude? You can do it like this. It's like, yeah, because there's nothing on the line. When there's nothing on
Yeah.
the line, it's so easy, free willy nilly. Some people can treat playing with the boys to competitive golf like it's nothing, and that's why you have the pros. You have the pros that can do that. But like, there are so many people out there that are just as talented as these professionals, and I'm not like meaning it to like put the professionals down, but they just can't do the same thing when it comes to competitiveness,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just, that's probably one of the most difficult things in between your head. Golf is just such a head game already,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, the amount of people that enjoy golf after they start like 15 over after like 3 holes and just have a few beers, and they're playing better because they just don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's
They just
not a
relax.
thing that's just like a placebo effect. It's legit.
Yeah.
When you just relax and you don't really care about everything. It makes things a little bit easier depending on the kind of person. Some people, they need that competitive drive. Some people can do it without it. But yeah, it's not easy.
No,
Definitely
it's
not
not.
easy.
1,000%. So kind of going back to what we were talking about with the money list, right? So the last tournament was the Live Dallas Team Championship, right?
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
So top earner was John Rahm. For the prize money that he got throughout the year was $16 million. Okay.
Dang.
With a bonus of $18 million payout.
Double the
Crazy.
bonus. Oh,
Double the
wow.
bonus. Then check this out. Then Joaquin Neiman came in second, earning 16.3 million to John Rahm's 16.7, with a $12 million payout bonus. Third, Sergio snuck up. It says snuck up at the last two tournaments to pass Terrell Haddon at
Wow.
13.3 with a $4 million payout.
Wow.
Even Terrell Haddon at in fourth place was 8.3. Brooks Koepka, number 5. I'm sorry. Terrell Haddon was 11.6. 11.6. I apologize.
Okay.
11.6. Brooks Koepka was 8.3. Dean Bumster was 8.2. Cam Smith, 8 million on the dot. Lewis how do you say his last name?
Oh,
Othusian? I forget.
Luis Oosthuizen.
Oosthuizen. Yeah. Lewis Oosthuizen. 8 million. Abraham Archer.
Answer, bro.
Uh,
Answer.
I'm
Answer
sorry.
me.
It's super small. Sorry, let me zoom in. Answer 7.4. Carlos Ortiz 7.3. Dustin Johnson 7.1. Taylor Gooch 6.1. Brendan Steele 6 million. Paul Casey 6 million. Bryson DeChambeau 6 million. But they were saying that Bryson was the top earning YouTube creator this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, so
At a couple hundred million.
Okay, so at number 10, the 10th ranked earner in Live, what was the number?
7.3.
And did they get a
Carlo,
bonus?
no bonus. It was only the top 3. But
Only the
still.
top 3. Okay, so they got 7.3, right? $1 million bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the top 10. And I'm looking at the PGA Tour top ranking earners, and that's Patrick Cantlay with 6.2 million. So, and that's not including, their guaranteed money that they got for signing on to Live.
Yeah.
And there are no bonuses. So technically, John Rahm earned 16 plus 18, 34 million. Scotty Scheffler earned number 1 on the PGA Tour, 29 million, not including the 400 or 600 or however many $1 million that, Rahm signed on for. But
yeah. Rahm is pretty close to him. I mean, Joaquin Neiman looking at 28.3 million on the season.
yeah, number 2 on PGA Tour, 18.3 million was Xander Schauffele. He killed it this year. And he was $10 million short of Joaquin Neiman. That's wild.
Even Sergio, who wasn't even able to hold his own jock strap on the PGA Tour for a while, made 17.4.
And then how much for the bonus?
So that's
Including the bonus?
Yeah, that's including the bonus of 4 million. He made 13.3.
Okay, so 17.3 million for
Sergio.
And then in the PGA Tour, you had Hideki Matsuyama, who had 11.2 million. So there is a pretty substantial gap between the top 3 earners from the PGA Tour and Live, not including the guaranteed money that is from the tournament itself. And I don't know, how would you feel if you saw those numbers on the PGA Tour?
I'd feel like an idiot.
If you had the opportunity, obviously, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah. I feel like an idiot, dude. Like that. That is that is such a huge difference in money for playing 3 days out of the week. For, I mean, you're also talking about like team payout bonuses that happen per tournament, right? I mean, there's just so much money being thrown at you. It's like your performance bonus throughout the year is just icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be tough. I mean, it's
I mean,
what
hold on.
yeah,
Look at
go for it.
even Matthew Wolf, 19th, 4.7
Mm.
here in this year. And he got kicked off half the season.
Well, what's also crazy is, okay, are you able to look at how many events there are for Live? I'm blanking off the top of my head. Let me see if I can Google it. How many Live events 2024? Okay, so there's only 14 Live events for all of 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of 20. So it means that 14 events that I'm pretty sure they have to play in every single event since there's so few, right? You have to play in 14 events.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler, to earn his 29 million, had to play in 19 events. Xander
Yes.
Schauffele, to earn his 18 million, played in 21 events. You know,
There's 49 official events in the PGA Tour.
exactly. I was looking up the most tournaments that were played by a player. Was Eric Cole played in 32 events. He only made 3.3 million.
Grinding.
So he is definitely grinding. I would say at least $500,000, or maybe he probably spent about $100K on travel this year. Maybe a little bit less, but 30 events, that's a lot. And those bags aren't cheap. They're not just going to ship them for free, but that's wild with how many events. So wait, so let me do this math really quick. Okay. So we got, so it's 14 events. What was the number for John Rahm again? Was it 34 million, I think, right?
No. It was
Well, it was 16 plus 18, right?
oh yeah. Yeah, 16.7 plus 18 million.
So John Rahm averaged about $2.5 million an event. 2,428,000. So let's just round up 2.5 million per event. While Scotty Scheffler averaged divided by 19, 1.5 million. So you average over $1 million more just to show up to the event.
Yeah.
Not including John Rahm's ridiculous payout that he already had for the signing bonus. But that's insane. Over $1 million more for a tournament that, like, you compare it to the PGA Tour, it's like Android versus Apple, in the sense of, like, everyone watches the PGA Tour compared to LIV. Not as many people watch it, not because they don't want to, but because of the access that a lot of them do. Especially you have the older people that love golf. Well, they're not going to just be on their phone and learn how to do an app on their phone and watch it there, or compared to just going on the Golf Channel or searching through CBS or NBC to find a PGA Tour event every Saturday or Sunday. So I feel like that's a big difference.
That's a huge. I mean, that's an astronomical difference, dude. You're talking about $1.5 million more that you're averaging,
and you show up less than half of those events, dude. It's wild.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
man.
It's I saw. I mean, when I saw that and I sent it to you, I was just like, I would feel like a complete moron for not taking that opportunity. And now they're trying. And again, they still haven't done any payouts um, for like the equity stuff because they still haven't figured out what they're trying to do with it. So it's like,
gosh,
these guys are making hand over fist money for essentially what golf enthusiasts are calling bush league golf. Just
not
showing
bad, not bad for bush league golf, man.
Not bad at all, man. That's crazy. That blew my mind. But this weekend, though, moving into the PGA Tour, they got the Zozo going on.
Oh, okay.
They got the Zozo going on this weekend. Today was the first day. Or actually, sorry, it's going on right now. Just because
it's got to be in Japan, right?
Yeah. They're playing the Accordia Golf Noricino Country Club.
Beautiful track. Played it once. No, I'm just kidding.
No, definitely have not. But yeah, some guy named M Gracerman was at the top when we first started the podcast. Now Timor is in the lead at 4 under.
Max Gracerman and now Nicholas Echeverria from Colombia. Played at University of
Oh,
Arkansas. Okay.
there you go. I'm not looking at the screen, but that was what I
No,
saw.
oh, Taylor Moore. He's another. Yeah, he was up there as well. I think he might have just bogeyed. The other guy birdied because it was a 4 to
What a
4, and then I
loser.
upped. Yeah, right. You are one pathetic loser. No offense. Yeah. Oh man, that's wild. I mean, just going back to like Bub Watson, man, the fact that he's still trying to stick with professional golf. I'm like, I don't think he has a YouTube channel, but it's like, just give it a shot, man. Just give it a quick shot. Just golf with your kids, just have fun. Be out there with your family. It's so easy. You can easily afford a simple, camera crew,
dude,
like,
dude,
Grant Horvat.
just alone with his what is it? His hover golf cart,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just with that alone, he'd get 1 million followers.
He's like
I
the
mean,
dude from Caddyshack,
yeah,
who brings all the bells and whistles to everything.
yeah,
Man.
it's crazy, man.
I mean, like, imagine just like watching him. He's like if he did a video with the other lefty. Who's the other lefty that has like all those crazy shots, like the hooks, the guy from like Canada? You know
Oh
what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
But like, dude, they would make some good videos. Both just
Mm-hmm.
like playing around, just what do they call that? Working the ball left and right, and those would be some like kind of like a that'd be a cool video if they did like a horse, on the range.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
you hit this, this fade this way or something around that or something. I think that'd be really cool with those two. But I
yeah.
mean, he is getting older. There's nothing wrong with that, but with his level of just people to know who he is in golf world, like it's so easy, dude. Like Cam Newton, like he's a great football player, but he's got his now podcast and all of his things, his 4th and 1 and his YouTube channel, dude. And he is just
Dude,
got like millions of followers.
he does have millions of followers. I mean, he did an amazing job of marketing
Yeah,
himself. Like
100%.
I still think the NFL cut his legs a little too soon. But I mean, dude, for what he had to go through in North Carolina through his entire career is commendable. Like, I mean, we're watching it happen with Bryce Young right now. Like,
Oh, dude, that's
it's
brutal.
yeah, it's. I mean, we even watched it with Baker Mayfield, right? Like when Baker was there, it was also tough. Like, there's just no offensive line, dude.
Well,
I
no, it
mean,
wasn't that. Baker was literally playing Call of Duty or Halo at the
yeah.
time for like 8 hours. He was streaming like 9 hours a day when he had COVID. The week before the Christmas game against the Green Bay Packers, and there was a employee for the Cleveland Browns that his job was to check and follow Baker to see how much what he's doing, and he ends up throwing 4 picks in the game. It's like, dude, like,
It's normal. It's normal for the Browns, dude. It's normal. It's normal.
yeah, but I mean,
It's standard.
it would be. It's not. It'd be really interesting to see what's his name, like Bubba Watson, if he actually was successful to gain enough points to get his card back. Because I feel like the LIV and PGA Tour, like Bryson said, they're close on a deal, like for them merging together or doing whatever they're gonna do, and then the PGA Tour players are gonna feel even dumber. This whole thing, like.
Well, I think that's the hardest part, dude. Is the Players Association, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't like how you got to have it make sense. What's the benefit? What was the whole purpose of Rory, Tiger, you know, Homa, like Tagala, all those guys, Justin, Jordan? What was the purpose of them holding their ground, staying on the PGA, and not taking the money? If you're just gonna let them right back in with all of their guarantees, be able to play and all this stuff. You got to make it make sense because the guys who made those decisions, who have put the PGA on their backs and had good runs to really excite the viewers to want to come watch it, you got to have it make sense. I mean, the PGA is just going to have to pull money out of their pocket and be like, all right, well, here you go.
They
Thank
had to have
you.
been promised the moon, and just lied to, because at this
Yeah.
moment,
I
nothing
mean,
has happened.
again, even equity doesn't make sense. We broke it down on one of the other tournaments, or tournaments, on one of the other podcasts. It doesn't make sense. Even Tiger, if you think about what he has accumulated and what he has done for the PGA, that does not make sense. He makes more. He makes more taking a piss in a pair of Nikes and making it a commercial than he would playing on hitting a shot on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no, in my opinion, as of right now, it doesn't look like there's anything that the PGA Tour is going to do for the players that held around, that had the opportunity to go to LIV and didn't, to make it worth it.
But again, the PGA could also see it from a business aspect, right? Being that all of them are sole proprietors.
Yeah, that definitely. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like, well, you could have gone. It was like, don't get me too political here, but it's like, oh, you didn't have to take the shot. No one had a gun to your head.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, don't be talking like that.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Yeah. Like, you knew all the repercussions that everyone was going to say, all this stuff about, like, oh, if you leave, to go to LIV, oh man, you're tainted. All the negativity that the media made him feel like, unless like they go to the PGA and they're like, okay, like, I'll stay, and this is what you promised, but this is what I'll take, and it's minimum what I missed out on. Like, here's the contract that I was offered. This is what you owe me now because you didn't pay me. Like, unless that, even then, all the stress and stuff on top of having to back the PGA Tour after it didn't look like they weren't going to do anything. What do they call that when, like, you're suing somebody? They call it like like when it's like a mental issue, like something like, oh, all the stress that you put me through, all that stuff, like they add money to the sue. You know what I mean?
Is that?
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I can't think of the word. Sorry, I took some NyQuil and started kicking right now. I got like a stuffy nose.
Oh man, yeah, no, but like that, where it's like all the stuff that you put me through that I didn't have to go through, like, add to that as well. Because it's tough, dude. It's
different. No, it's not it. It's not.
I don't even know if I can Google. I don't even know what to Google, but like it would take a lot to Google. But yeah, like that, where it's like it doesn't stop there. You got to add to that number as well. But I do feel bad for some of the PGA Tour guys, but I mainly feel bad for the lower tier guys that had an opportunity to make guaranteed money. Maybe like someone like a Pat Perez level, that was always on the PGA Tour for a long time, but really wasn't like a top money maker every single year, and really had to grind it out to keep their card. I don't care about, Justin Thomas or Xander Schauffele or Scotty Scheffler. Like, you're fine. Like, you're fine. It doesn't really apply to you. It applies to the people that could actually set themselves up, because you're already set. Something can happen to you tomorrow.
Dude, but think about it. Like, Scotty, Xander, those guys weren't like the top dudes when LIV kind of came out.
But they were when John Rahm was signed.
They were when John Rahm was in,
not Cantlay. But no, not Cantlay. Yeah.
But still, if they were to have taken, let's just say they took 150 million, right? 150 million. But dude, just with what these tournaments are paying out, bro, if Scotty came on and had the same kind of season that he had with LIV,
to work part-time,
yeah, he probably would have doubled what he made this year.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
no question about it.
With the bonuses as well as the marketing and like the incentive pieces that come, he would be, I mean, now golf is just a hobby at this point, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, the worst thing is, no matter what happens, they're gonna have to live with it their whole life, and not like I don't mean live with it in like a negative way, but reminded because everyone that like they see, whether it's an interview or whether they're on a show, whether they see people in the streets, oh man, like why did you go to LIV? They're always going to be reminded about that,
Yep.
And like I said, with the top guys, it doesn't really matter too much because they're already making so much money anyway. I mean, but it's the bottom tier guys that had an opportunity to better their lives, better their families, work part time. We wouldn't want to like make triple, quadruple the amount guaranteed in a sport that's the most hard to guarantee money, and like that's the best, man. Like it's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to make more and work less. Like
1,000%.
sign me up. But
Yeah. But just crazy, man. I mean, again, like the year's coming to an end. Season's going to start back up.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of stuff that people are excited to see for next year, and I'm right there with it, man. I'm hoping that this next match at the Win. I think no, I don't know where they're doing it this year. But I hope that one between what is it? Who is it? It's
the two LIV guys, right?
Yeah, it's Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau versus Scheffler and Homa.
Shadow Creek Golf Course.
Ooh.
The match.
That one I have played, and that is a real beaut.
Oh, I mean, it's in every freaking video game. Looks like a beautiful course.
A beaut. Video game. You feel like you're in heaven.
Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler versus Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. That'll be epic. Yeah. I mean, you've got some great personalities there. It's always nice to hear Scotty Scheffler open up because he's definitely been out of those guys the one that's be much more quiet. You don't really hear too much about him. Like
all day.
Well, yeah, but thanks to the President's Cup, we got to meet him a little bit more, which was nice. But I mean, everyone else, their personalities, and that'll be a heck of a match for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I forgot it's Rory, but
good old
that's
Rory.
Gonna be a good one. But all right, guys. Well, thank you for another awesome episode. Again, we appreciate all of your support. Continue to click and follow us. We're always putting out new content. We've been a little bit low on the golf content of us playing. Just I'm a new father of 2 now. Teeds is expecting another. Families are getting big. Life is getting busy. But when we have the time, definitely going to try and put some content up. I just played 36.5 in Bay on Monday. It was great. Had a lot of fun. I did not film as much, but I got a few clips. But I got my what is it? Our Directors Cup this weekend for the men's club. So plan on taking a camera. Got the GoPro finally replaced since I blew it up with the drive that I was trying to, catch in front. So yeah, excited. So don't forget to wipe some butts and make some putts. Fore dads, we're out.